Hello there, my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Innokin Lea Tank V2, which I received from www.vapour-room.com. That's vapour-room.com. Before I start though, I must point out I did receive it free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review. My opinion of the product remains true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so let's go straight ahead and show you what's in the box. Okay, I'm not too sure if it's pronounced Innokin or Innokin because I've heard different people sort of pronounce it in different ways, but I'm going to say it's Innokin. Okay, so the Innokin Lea tank system version 2 comes in a like a nice presentation box. When you slide off the lid, inside you're going to find the actual obviously Innokin Lea, and I'll obviously show you that in a bit more detail as we progress. And you'll also find a user manual. Underneath that section you're going to find two more boxes. One contains a USB mains adapter and also a USB charging cable, and the other box contains 5 blank tank cartridges. Now they are blank cartridges, so you will need to fill them up prior to using it, but they do actually include a 10ml bottle of decang liquid, a car charging adapter, so obviously you can charge it up while you're driving about, and also a UK mains adapter, because the actual USB mains adapter that comes with the kit is a European plug, so obviously it comes with a UK plug, so there's no problems there. Okay, so like I said, the tank cartridges that come with the Lea tank system V2 are blank ones, so you will need to fill them up prior. So let's go and take a look and show you how to fill up the tanks. Right, so here we have one of the empty blank tank cartridges. On the top here, you've got like a little sort of rubber lid which you need to remove. But just before I obviously do that, if you look in the centre there, you've got a little sort of tiny slit. Now normally on these sort of tank cartridges, they have an actual sort of sort of fairly big hole there. But on these ones, you've got like a little sort of tiny slit, which I sort of personally think is probably a slightly better design, because it means it's going to grip around the spike, which obviously feeds the liquid down to the atomizer a little bit more sort of securely, so hopefully obviously prevent leakages. Okay, so on the either side, you should hopefully see that there's little sort of tabs. Literally just got to grab those with your fingernails and just pull the lid off, and now you're ready to start filling them up. Okay, so like I said, the kit does come with 10ml of decang e-liquid. Now I'm not too sure if you can sort of pick and choose what sort of flavour and strength you want, but this particular one they sent to me was the tobacco flavour at 18mg, so for me personally that's sort of pretty much spot on. Okay, so just before I actually fill the tank up, just want to point out you don't actually need to take the little lid off there. If you've got something like a blunt syringe, you can sort of poke that through the slit and fill them up that way. But for me personally, I just tend to just take the lid off and do it this way that I'm showing you now. Okay, so all you need to do is basically just sort of hold it very firmly in one hand, take your liquid and just start dripping your drops into the tank. Now one thing I will say is do not fill the tank all the way up to the top. You need to leave yourself a gap at the top there, otherwise you're going to have wicking problems because the juice just won't sort of wick down onto the heating coil. So just take your juice, hold it firmly and start filling it up, just making sure you leave yourself a reasonable gap at the top there. And once that's full, you've just got to take your little rubber bung and slide that in the top, and that's it, you're all fill up and ready to have a nice vape. Right, so the Innokin Lea tank system V2 is basically sort of made up of 4 parts. You've got the main body, which is also the battery. You then have like a pen lid, which you can use to obviously sort of help you sort of attach it to your pocket, or just sort of generally sort of protect the atomizer. You get the atomizer, and then finally the actual tank. The battery has a 3-click on, 3-click off feature. So at the moment I think it's on, so if I tap it 3 times, it will flash at me and it's now off. So if I press a button, nothing's going to happen. So if I want to have a start vaping, I can just tap it 3 more times and it will flash again, and now I can start, every time I press it you can see the light will light up there. So when you do vape, when you press a button, at the moment it's I've got a fully charged battery, so the light lights up a green colour. And then basically when your battery starts to run low, that light will turn to an amber colour, which is basically like a warning signal for you to let you know that you need to start charging it up, or charging times are going to be sort of required sort of fairly soon. On the bottom here, it looks like you've just got like a flat base, but it's actually a cap. If you unscrew that, you're going to find a mini USB port, which you could then use to actually sort of charge the battery. Now, I think on the website they said it's like a pass-through, but it's not actually a pass-through. The voltage isn't going to sort of go up to match your PC's USB output. It is basically a charging vape. So basically that means you can plug this into your computer or to the mains, and then you can sort of charge it and vape at the same time. So you won't get sort of 5-volt vaping out of it basically. Okay, so the literally the atomizer and the battery, they just screw together, and it is a 510 connection. And this battery can be used with any other sort of atomizer, cartomizer, tank system, as long as it's got a 510 connection. But I do find that the actual Lea atomizers, even though it's got a 510 connection, don't tend to work too great on other 510 devices, because there's just sort of like there's just no airflow there basically. But the anything else will work fine on the actual Lea battery though. So these are literally just sort of screw together, and then you just take your tank, and then that just slots into the top there, and that's it. You can start vaping. Now, like I said, there are I think there's 5 different colours you can choose from. And when I heard that they was going to send me the red one, I wasn't sort of too keen on it. Well, I say I wasn't too keen, but I wasn't sort of overly looking forward to seeing it. Let's put it that way, because I wouldn't normally buy like a red coloured device. But you know, I think this actually looks like a. It's not just this plain old red, it's a very sort of deep red. It's got sort of little speckles in there, and it is actually a surprisingly very nice colour. And very lastly as well, I'll just show you with the like the pen lid bit on. And so now you can obviously just sort of attach that to your shirt pocket and carry it around with you. And also it also you know, protects the atomizer and the tank there. Okay, so that is the Innokin Lea Tank System V2. So let's go ahead and show you what the vape's like. Okay, so that is the Innokin Lea Tank V2. So what I'll do now is obviously go ahead and show you in action. So I'm going to be using the e-liquid that comes free with the kit, which is the 18mg strength tobacco flavour. Now, I'm not too sure if the liquid is actually a VG liquid or a PG liquid, because it doesn't actually tell me on the bottle. But I'm going to assume it's a VG liquid, because all the other liquids they sell on their site are VG based. And the liquid itself is sort of quite thick, and it does tend to sort of leave quite a like a dense sort of lingering vapour. So this is with the juice that comes with the kit. As you see, like vapour wise, it produces a nice amount of vapour, and as you can see now, it is really does sort of linger. The flavour of the liquid, it's a nice sort of smoky taste. So it's quite a strong sort of nutty tone to it as well. So it's, you know, it's a pleasant flavour. I wouldn't sort of, the actual overall flavour isn't sort of overly strong, but it's not sort of weak either, which for me makes it quite an ideal sort of flavour for all day vaping, because it means you don't get sort of too sick of the taste, and you don't get sort of too bored of vaping it because, like, you know, it's too weak either. Now, obviously, it is a tank system, so some people, you know, do notice quite a drop in the actual amount of sort of flavour the tank systems do produce. Now, for me personally, I don't sort of see it as too much of a problem, because I tend to vape quite strong tobacco flavours and quite strong menthol flavours. Now, obviously, if you're a person who vapes sort of quite sort of delicate sort of fruity flavours, then you probably will find that dip in the flavour production to be a bit of a problem for you. But if you're like me, you like your strong sort of flavours, then I personally don't think you're going to notice any sort of problems at all. Throat hit wise, I am getting that nice sort of kick in the back of my throat, but it's definitely on the mild side compared to when I'm using another sort of device at the same sort of voltage using the same sort of e-liquid. Now, I personally find that the higher the nicotine content of the e-liquid, like the stronger or the harsher the throat hit. And I'm vaping 18mg strength, which is what I normally vape anyway. And normally I get, you know, a pretty nice little solid thump there with 18mg. But with me, I am getting that throat hit, but like I say, it's definitely on the smoother side when compared to using like similar devices with the same sort of e-liquid. Now I could probably sort of improve that by sort of increasing the nicotine content of my e-liquid. It's not like being like an overly big sort of problem. I'm still getting that throw hit there, but it's definitely on the smoother side. The battery life on it seems to be pretty good. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you what milliamp hour rating the battery is. I've just looked at the website, and it doesn't actually sort of give you that information. But I'm going to assume it's around sort of 650 to 700 milliamp hours. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's lasted me sort of pretty much the full day. And when I use other devices with a similar sort of size battery, I know they're rated at around sort of 650 milliamp hours. So I'm going to assume that this one is sort of pretty much the same. Now, obviously, that's sort of lasts me a full day of what I would class as sort of moderate vaping. If you're a particularly heavy user, somebody who sort of chain vapes from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, and obviously you're not going to get a full day's worth of use out of it, shall I say. But for me personally, you know, with the amount that I vape personally, you know, like it's lasted me pretty much a full day. What's next? The switch on it, no, it's a nice switch to use. It's nothing sort of too fancy. Press the button and it sort of fires up and activates every time. Obviously, you've got the bonus of that you got the 3-click on and the 3-click off. So I should be able to vape it now. And also, as you can see there now, like my battery is obviously coming to the end of its cycle. I don't know if you can sort of pick that up, but it's actually glowing like an amber colour. Whereas normally, like when your battery's sort of fully charged, you've got a green colour there. So I've probably got about another, maybe a half hour to an hour's worth of sort of vaping out of it, and then obviously have to go and charge. But so, you know, yeah, switch-wise, you know, works perfectly. No, it's a nice, nice device really. I was quite surprised that I quite like the look of the red colour. Didn't think I'd be overly impressed by having a red electronic cigarette. But it's definitely not just a standard sort of red paint. It's like it's hard to describe. It's sort of almost sort of metallic-y. That's the only way I can sort of describe it. They do have sort of several colours on their website. For me, probably one of the only big negatives about it is the size of the tanks. Like they are, I think they hold around sort of like 1 ml of e-liquid. Which wouldn't be sort of too bad, but you do, and this is very important, you do have to leave yourself at least a sort of a 3mm sort of gap at the top. If you fill the tanks right out to the top, then put the lid on and then put them into there, like you basically the liquid just will not wick whatsoever. So you do have to leave yourself obviously about a sort of 3 mil gap, something like that. And then obviously that's reducing the amount of liquid that you can put in it, which means you're having to sort of top up sort of that little bit more often. If they could make, like, keep the tank the same, the atomizer the same, but just make the tank, you know, just slightly longer, just so you can get that full 1 ml of e-liquid in there and leave you enough room for that little gap at the top, then you know, it'll be fine for me. So get on to the scores then. For the looks, I personally do think it would look a lot nicer in like a chrome or a black, something like that. But the actual red colour does actually look, you know, pretty nice. So I'm going to give the looks an 8 out of 10. For the vapour production, I think the vapour production, you know, is very good, especially with the e-liquid that comes with it. You get some really nice sort of thick, dense sort of vapour. So I'm quite happy to give that an 8 out of 10. The throw hit for me, a little bit on the mild side. So I'm going to give that I have to give the throw hit a 6 out of 10. I would personally like to have that little bit more of a sort of stronger thump. But like I said, it is more of a smooth throw hit rather than like a proper throw hit. But it is still there though. For the battery life, if I can make a battery last me the full day, then that's perfectly adequate for me. So I'm quite happy to give that an 8 out of 10. And for the switch, well, the switch works perfectly. You know, you've got no chance of it going off in your pocket as long as you obviously turn off the device before you put it in your pocket. It's nice and comfortable to use. It fires up every single time. So I've got no qualms with it at all. So I'll quite give that another, not an 8 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. Okay, guys, well, thank you very much for watching. If you fancy trying one of these out for yourself, go along to www.vapour-room.com. Type in this code at checkout and they'll give you a 15% discount every time you purchase from them. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.